a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I'm just one of your co-hosts, Michael Eric Owens.
And I'm Ken Hayes.
What's going on, Doctor?
Well, we got a lot to talk
Oh
about,
man,
Mike. I mean, a
it,
lot. Money
it
just
had,
flowing.
man, it's flowing all over the place, brother. And it's been a minute since we had the opportunity to come live with you folks. Go ahead, hit that subscribe and notification button. And Ken, we just gonna dive right into the discussion, man. I want to look at the Los Angeles Lakers.
Okay.
And I know there's been a lot of talk going around. The Lakers are in a rough position. New coach, JJ Redick. And LeBron got his wish
Did you say
to
Sam
play with
Cassell?
his son. No, I
Let me
said
see.
JJ Redick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And LeBron got his wish to play with his son. Okay. 55th pick in the draft. Okay. Ken, what was your reaction when you saw that? Especially the fact that it was, it was like he was, when I saw the footage, it looked like he was drafted in a lottery. You know what I mean? Like everybody going crazy. I maybe Ken, I was out of the loop, but I thought it was like a done deal that they was gonna draft him, man. But what was your thoughts on that, Ken?
Mike, I'll say this. Just, based on the footage, it was staged. They knew what they were doing. They probably had this planned out maybe, I'm going to say weeks in advance, as far as if they were going to draft LeBron's son. A lot of people say nepotism, as far as that's concerned. It's been LeBron's dream to play with his son and everything else. Let me go through a couple of things. Bronny was not even a top 100 college player. He
Correct.
averaged about 4 points a game, played about 20 minutes. And, I saw where someone said, oh, it's great that he got drafted, seeing what he's been through with his health issues and things like that, in which, a lot of college players go through some things, but, I just think that the Lakers did LeBron a solid as far as, drafting the son and, if it's going to be a two-way contract or G League, but, at the end of the day, he's going to be a Laker. Nepotism has been around since the beginning of the time. We've seen it football, baseball, and we see it in basketball. So, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time. I mean, I give you two examples. Don Nelson and Donnie Nelson. Dale Harris and Larry Harris. Who Larry Harris is famous for, telling the fans of Milwaukee, no, I'm not going to get rid of Terry Porter, the coach. But 2 weeks later, Terry was gone. But we won't spend a whole lot of time on that. But
Exactly.
I just think that when the Lakers drafted Bronny, I'm sure other players are looking like, man, I'm averaging, let's just say 15, 17 a game, maybe 4 assists per game, I'm a top 50 and I don't get selected. But you got a guy who, not even in the top 100 get drafted. So, it's going to be some hard feelings from, let's just say other players who maybe could have had his place. But then I'll say this and I'll let you get at it. It's Thanasis, Giannis's brother. Everybody says he shouldn't even be on anybody's team. Some say he shouldn't even be in, the YWCA team. So, nepotism. So I get it. It's going to be there. That's just, it's in corporate America. So, why spend so much time on it? It's just there, and people do it. Is it right? Nah. So.
Yeah. Just it's funny about Thanasis because Thanasis is his older brother. First of all, I mean, when these people, when these like, I don't know what you want to call them, man, these trolls or whatever on the internet, but when they make these comparisons, like, bruh, like he's not Giannis' father, or Giannis is not his father. Okay, first of all, he's Giannis' older brother. Second of all, he was drafted by a different team. So he had got drafted into the NBA before Giannis said, "Get my brother over here." Okay, number one. And other thing on that too, Ken, we had the same expectations for Bronny that we have for Thanasis. So we look at Thanasis as being just a great teammate.
Oh yeah,
We,
sure.
we don't expect for him to come in and change the game and be dunking and dominating and all. So we don't have it. So are we? So if this is a comparison, so you're telling me is I'm supposed to have the same sort of expectation. So Bronny's never going to play. He's only going to get in at garbage time. He's not a valuable, contributor to, we would say, success on the court, right? So Bronny's just going to be a great locker room guy. So that's it. So if we want to go along with that argument, which I don't believe we do, because Bronny is one of the few guys in NBA history to get a full contract and get drafted in the second round at 55. Okay, he's got a full contract. Okay, most of these guys got to make the team.
Oh yeah.
You see, so let me say this. As a father, man, I get LeBron. I get him, Ken. And as a man, Ken, you get him. What would our loved ones, what if we could give them the world? We want to give it to them.
Right.
That's why nepotism has been around forever. Let me take care of them. If I love my son, my daughter, or whatever, my wife, I'm gonna try to do the best I can. I get, man, listen, King, I get that. And I'm with you on that. But it's wrong. It's one of the, man, nepotism is one of the highest acts of selfishness. Because the reality is, man, you're telling you don't have to compete. It doesn't even matter how good you are. The fact that you my son, oh yeah, I'm gonna put you there. Bronny, in no way. And okay, let's just let's take the king out of this and his son out of this. Let's just say Joe the player. That's good. That's the legendary. This, that, and the other thing. Okay. His son needs to show something. His son needs to show some of that greatness. We need to look at his son and be like, oh, ooh, I saw Carlo Boozer's son play. Oh, both of his boys. Oh, they nice. You understand what I'm saying? So when I'm looking at them, I'm like, ooh, yeah. They can ball. They're gonna get to that level, not because of Carlos. Now, do they get more exposure? Absolutely, because of their father.
Oh yeah.
But you got to show me. Bronny in high school averaged between 10 and 12 points a game. And you already gave what he did at USC. So I'm trying to say, what has Bronny James showed as a player? Do I believe he's got talent? Absolutely. Man, you know what, man? I want to celebrate Bronny. I want to see Bronny. I would have loved this, man, when he was, because I tried to watch him. Even when he was in high school, he was at USC. Man, listen, man. Yo, dad, that dude. So, I'm pulling for you to be, I'm pulling for you. But I want to see, I would have loved to have seen him go back to USC. Doesn't matter what I would have loved to have seen. But in dominate. And then you say, man, yeah, he deserved to be there. The question is always going to be for Bronny James, did you deserve to be there? That's the question. Did you do the work? Did you prove to scouts and to others wasn't nobody going to draft him?
No.
Now they said Rich Paul going around telling folk, man, come on, not a whole lot of teams were interested in Bronny anyway.
No.
Okay. And let's go back. And again, folks, I want you to understand this is not about him as a young man, because everything I see from him, oh man, he's sharp, man.
Yeah.
intelligent, articulate, strong of character. You know what? I'm gonna say this about Bronny. It's a whole lot of pressure having LeBron James as your
Oh
father.
man.
Okay.
Woo.
That just comes along with the territory. When you are great at something and your dad, man, you like, man, that's pops, man. Like, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, you like, hey man, how do I live up to that? So that in itself is pressure. And I love the way, man, that he has shouldered that with the help of his family, obviously, has helped him understand the gravity of that pressure because he has been nothing more than a stellar person, man.
Oh
So I
yeah.
give him credit for that. But again, man, when you look at I have to ask the question, what's more important to LeBron? Is it winning a championship or playing with his son? Because clearly the king owns LA. With this gangster move, right, man, come on, man. This is the greatest league, Ken. This is the greatest league on the planet. And LeBron showed you just how powerful he is.
Oh
But
yeah.
first of all, JJ Redick would have never got that job if the king hadn't said it's cool. Stop it.
Did you say Sam
Never got that
Cassell?
job. Okay. Oh no, Sam Cassell. No, JJ Redick. So he says, I want to play with my son. He announced that years ago.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's how gangster that is. LeBron said, guess what, folks? I'm going to put this out there right now. I want to play with my son. Years ago. He didn't say I want to play with my son because he's going to be NBA ready or he's going to be, he's going to stand out in no. He said I want to play with my son. That's why I turn around Ken and say it's the greatest selfish act I think I've seen in NBA basketball. Because it's you want to do your teammates want to play with your son? I mean, what
Come
does
on, Mike.
Bronny bring to the table as a draft pick? And somebody will argue and say, well, he's the 55th pick of the draft. Okay. But then don't turn around and say to me, he's the king's son. Because when you say he's the king's son, man, bro, I'm not expecting mediocre. Why? Because his father is one of the greatest. And some will argue the greatest. I would argue that. But some will argue that number 2, number 3, number 4, whatever. He is one of the greatest, man. You can't talk about basketball without talking about his father. So to me, Ken, I think it's the height of privilege. And I would also say whether it is you pointed out nepotism is in every sector of our society, but it's wrong. I don't care if it's done by white people, black people, Asian people, Latin people. I don't care. It is wrong because of the fact you're giving it to someone that has not earned it. And so with that said, look at the Lakers now. Ken, they won what? One game against Denver.
Oh, Mike,
Okay.
they're not in the position to compete for the championship on a serious level. They'll be the same as they was last year unless they make just a tremendous move. But I don't see that happening. I think they're probably going to be close to luxury cap as it is right as they stand right now. So
You know, I almost feel bad for JJ Redick. I said
okay,
almost,
all right.
because see, JJ, he gives off this persona of enormous confidence that he gonna come in here and he gonna set things up, and he talked about the game in a way so this that. But let me say this, JJ, Laker fans, I think
Yeah,
LA's gonna have a horrible year, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard to be a Laker fan, and JJ's gonna have so much pressure on him, man. Like, Ken, how do you got Bronny James down at the end of the bench, and you got the king, like, running things. So
Put my
what do you
son in.
do? Yeah, what do you, man? That is so much pressure because I don't know how you balance that. Now, hopefully, I mean, again, I might be 100% wrong. And if I'm 100% wrong, I'm going to come out and say to you, I was 100% wrong. I will apologize to you. Bronny James may come out, ball, rookie of the year, this, that, and the other thing. If he does that, trust me, I will tip my hat and say, you know what, young fella, you cold-blooded. I will give you that. So I'm not saying that I'm closing the book on him. I'm just saying how you got there wasn't legitimate, bro. I'm just saying. And the thing about it is, don't we look at Bronny differently than say we look at another rookie that's been drafted? Okay. Let's say this. Let's look at Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin went 10th. So Johnny career hasn't taken off, but I'm not necessarily shocked over that. I'm not like, man, this guy was going to be the greatest or he was going to be this, going to be that. Now, what if that's looking at Bronny in a couple years? We're going to say, oh, ooh, that's the king's son. Like it's a different way of looking at things. We don't put them on the same level because of his father. So
Yeah,
the pressure is there for him to achieve at a great level, not because anything we have created. But
yeah, but
this is the media's creation around
right.
him as being this LeBron James son.
But I think it's a little. I think it's a little bit unfair for, let's just say, the media to, let's just say, grade him on LeBron's achievements, in which they are going to do that. And you said it earlier. It's just so much pressure being LeBron's son, just in general. So I hope he does well. I'm sure, like I said, he's going to make the team, and
Well, he got a
they'll just
guaranteed contract. So so he so
it's
he
nothing much
already
else to say.
there, man. He had
Right.
a national press conference, man. When does you get drafted 55, you get a national press conference, man. We putting him at that level. I shouldn't say we. The media is putting him at that level of expectations where we're like, well, with Caitlin Clark, it was the same thing. Caitlin came out. Caitlin is supposed to be the face of the WNBA, this, that, and the other thing. But Caitlin came out and said, I got game. And now you see that she's competing at that level. So you're at that level. People have put you at that level. I don't think anybody is, especially fan-wise, of LeBron James, expecting for his son to come, sit on the bench, never play, and develop. I think they expect for him to get some quality time out there on the floor with his father. And to me, the question is, do you want to play with your son or do you want to win? Because that to me says, and the King said it. Again, man, King, to do anything with your son at a high level is beautiful. It's
It
beautiful
is.
to do anything
Yeah.
with a loved one. It's beautiful. So I'm not saying it's not beautiful, man. I'm just saying two things can be true at the same time. It's beautiful, but it's wrong. Okay? And LA's going to have a terrible, terrible season, man.
New
But we'll
coach.
see. New man. No.
That's gonna be tough.
New system. So I don't, matter of fact, I don't even see them making the playoffs. Not even making it, Ken. Not out the West this year. Unless
West is
they
still
do
gonna be.
something drastic. Unless they do something, they talking about the guy that's still out there, DeMarco Rosen, and that LA, because they couldn't get Clay, they might try to go after him. But I still say they need to spread the floor, man. They don't need that mid-range guy. They got that, man. They Austin Reeves, they they got all only run, they got Russell that can, but Russell will go south on you. Like you say, he'll go in the milk
South,
carton. So so what
man.
so I'm saying, like, they need shooters, man. And I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, to be honest.
Ooh.
Period. Okay.
I mean, well, they were in the play-in, right?
Yeah, they were in the play-in. Then
They
they
were
ran up
playing.
on Denver and then
Yeah.
got knocked in the throat and went home.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Gentleman sweep.
hey, it shouldn't have been that. Then I hear everybody, well, every game was close. So I thought you win or you lose. I'm confused. Like, if I beat you by 50 or I beat you by 2, like, I'm still hosting the trophy, right? Like, but the game was close. No, actually, it was not. But Ken,
Well,
okay. The Bucks, man. Let's move on to the Bucks, the Milwaukee
okay.
Bucks. And we know that the Bucks' year last year was a year to forget. However, how do you feel about draft day, first of all, with the Milwaukee Bucks?
Kind of surprising. The first pick, AJ Johnson, shooting guard, about 6'4", played in Australia, but didn't get a whole lot of playing time. So that's what kind of confused me a little bit. So is he going to be put in the G League, on the Bucks team, or they going to bring him on the roster, which there's really no room for him. So didn't get, um, then the second round pick, Tyler Smith, 6'9" forward, uh, in the G League. I think their second round pick should have been their first round pick, as far as I'm concerned. Got a night, from the three, pretty consistent. Defense wise, there's questions there, in which, I think every player who comes in the NBA, defense is going to be where they struggle. So, but has very athletic. Uh, the other thing that has length, I mean, at 6'9" with a wingspan of like maybe a 7'2", 7'3" player. So um, I, I, he has a better chance to me to be on the roster than AJ Johnson. So I like the second round pick. The first round pick was just a kind of little confusing for me, as far as that's concerned. Um, in hindsight, I thought they were going to give up the first round pick to try to make a move to get, I won't say someone who can contribute right away, but I'm not the GM, so we'll see how John works this thing out for the Bucks.
Well, Ken, when I first saw the pick, and again, I hadn't had the opportunity to watch these guys play, so I reserved my opinion until I went out and looked at some film on these boys.
Okay.
They're bringing something to the Bucks that we ain't seen. The reason why they got that young boy that early, because they really felt somebody was going to snatch him up before that. When you look at AJ, yeah, he's young. His body is not as mature yet. He's 19, but man, that boy can go, bruh.
Oh
That
yeah,
young
I
dude
give.
got handled. That young dude got, and it's not that, AJ has something that, and I'm not going to say he's going to turn into all of this, but it is so true. When you look at Jalen Green of Houston, when you look at his game is like that, man. He like that. I mean, he gonna do some things to you that you ain't gonna necessarily see in Milwaukee. His talent level, his athleticism, his handle, his athleticism, and his explosiveness at 6'7". I'm telling you, man, that if they develop that dude, oh man, he gonna be a 6'7" point guard that you ain't gonna be able to deal with, because his quickness, he just needs to get stronger. He's already got the length. He's got the explosiveness. He's got the handle. Oh, he and Tyler, dude. Let me tell you something. Man, when I saw Tyler, and this is Ken, this is in your wheelhouse. He a left-hand assassin.
I know,
But
right?
when I see this brother play and he's stepping 3-4 feet from the three-point line, pulling up, taking people off the dribble, blocking shots, back up. He got a post-up game. Yes, these are two young players, but listen to me, Bucks fan. These are two young gems. Now, AJ's probably going to take a little bit longer, Ken. I
Yeah,
think they
I would
felt
say so
Tyler,
too.
and a lot of people thought Tyler was going in the first round. A lot of people. And why he
Late
failed
first
to where
round.
he fell, you know, why he fell to where he did, who knows? Thankful for the Bucks he did. Because man, I feel like this year Tyler's going to be a guy that can come in because at his size, 6'10, like you say, 6'9, 6'10 with his shoes on, this is a guy that's going to be able to stretch the floor, and you can't leave him open. I mean, he's
No, you
shooting what,
can't.
39, 30, 38% from the three? You can't leave. And the thing about it is he's the type of guy where he's not just going to catch and shoot. He
He's gonna
coming
take it
off
to the hole.
screens. You see what I'm saying? He coming off screens, pulling up. And like you say, he's taking you to the hole as well. So to me, I think the Bucks looked around and said, look, we got to go young. Because they had to, Ken. We
Oh
talked about that all season long, man. Well, we about to break out the wheelchairs, baby.
man.
I'm like, where is it? Hey, listen, kid, we handing out Geritol at halftime. Who got the prune juice? Come on, baby. No, we had to go younger, man. And just think, listen, man, when you got Tyler Smith, right, young brother,
hmm
being mentored by Giannis, and you got AJ being mentored by Dame, bruh. When I saw that, I said, okay, because Ken, I was wondering what the future looked like, babe. You know what we understand. We want to keep Giannis and we want to keep that. We understand, but no, we need some transition. And now I believe the Bucks have added two players, man, that's going to pay huge dividends for many years to come, man. John Hoyce did a good job. I know people who AJ, we need to win now. See, that's the problem. You don't understand. It's gotta be, if you want to stay a great franchise, you have to have a balance between vets and rookies or mid, players that only been in 3 or 4 years. You need a balance between that. If you're so heavy, okay, let's look at what happened to Brooklyn. Let's look. Matter of fact, Ken, let's look what happened in New York. How long New York been down?
Oh,
You, hey, you
man.
know what's? Oh, Ken, what's gonna happen to the Warriors? And we gonna transition. Well, matter of fact, okay. Anything else you want to say about the Bucks?
No, I mean they made the picks that like I said, Tyler, I think he would be on the roster before Johnson. That's just, with the size and the shooting ability that he has. I mean, I love it. Gives them a different dimension from what they're used to. A guy that can get up and down the court and you 6'9" and can block shots too. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's gonna be nasty, right? When it's gonna,
yeah.
because he'll yoke it on you.
Oh,
Right, it's gonna
big
be
time.
nasty. He'll catch the loop on you. It's gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
nasty, man. With him and Giannis running, man, I'm telling you. Let the sleepers sleep. Okay, but when it rise up, and then they got DeLon Wright. See, at first you're saying, well, who you gonna back up with Dame, right? You know Pat probably is not gonna be
They're gonna come
there.
back. He ain't coming
Okay,
back, Mike.
he want more money. He's not gonna take the veteran minimum, so he gonna get a little more money than and I'm happy for him. Whatever, but DeLon Wright, man, he's solid, bruh. He's 6'5". He's solid on D. You know, he's shooting what, 35, 36, something like that from the three. He don't take a whole lot of threes. But the fact that this dude, man, knows how to handle the ball, he's never going to hurt you. That's his game. He's not going to hurt you.
The only thing that I'll say about that, Mike, is just his inconsistency from the three. I'll put it that way. But as far as running the team, you couldn't ask for a better. I wouldn't say you couldn't ask for. He's a good vet to have running the team. And the thing about it is that a backup point guy you want that person to come in, take over, doesn't have any issues about as far as the decision making. So good pickup for the Bucks.
Oh, I thought it was a real solid pickup, brother. And I I don't think that hasn't, and I don't know if that's going to even increase for him when he plays for the Bucks. His 3-point shooting, I think he's going to be more of one that he's going to come in, play 15, 17 minutes, give Dame a rest, facilitate. Uh, man, he's a thief. Oh,
Oh yeah,
you put the ball out there, he got it. You see what I'm saying? And that's the aggressiveness, right? He's going to be able to be a point of attack defender, and I think that's going to be great for the Bucks, man. So I'm very excited. Folks acting like the Bucks, I guess Giannis is left in Greece and never coming back, and Dame went back to Portland, and now Dame's a full-time rapper, I guess. And I guess Bobby, I don't know what Bobby doing, driving lessons or something. I see the commercials he got. I'm like, man, y'all act like the Bucks ain't got what Chris doing, like Chris in the Bahamas. I guess just chilling, bought him a house or something. They ain't never coming back. Man, listen, the Bucks had I know it's easy to forget. The Bucks had a difficult year. Had a coach, new coaching. Had removed the coach. You know what I'm saying? With the serious trade with Dame coming in, with Chris being hurt, with Giannis getting. I mean, the Bucks did not have. Ken, we have not seen what the Bucks can be. We haven't seen it.
Not in the last 2 years. I'll agree with you. I think if they can stay healthy, that's going to be their issue. It's going to be health, not as far as the play on the court, but it's going to be a health thing. So
do you think, in closing, before we transition, do you think there's going to be a trade with Brooke or Pat or Beauchamp?
I just don't think Pat will be around. It's a possibility that Brooke won't be around either. I think those are the two players that let's just say the Bucks are trying to move. It Me playing GM, I would rather give up Pat than anything else. But we know that he's let's just say a fan favorite and the coach's favorite. So
Yeah,
but
and for what I understand, Pat, I mean, I understand he played with some serious, ailments last year. So I don't, maybe that, you know what I'm saying? Again, man, I just don't know who's out there. I'm just saying, if you trading somebody, you better bring something back in better. I'm saying, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's got to be something that fits, that is needed, So, but okay, so let's transition a little bit over to Klay Thompson, the Golden State Warriors.
Splash Brother.
So the Splash Brothers, the two brothers that changed the game. Okay. And I have to admit, I'm a little shocked over that, man, because I thought, but Ken, we're going to go back in time. Okay. Go back in time to win the punch. Remember the punch?
Yeah.
Remember the punch? I said, when the punch happened, I said, that's it. I said, the culture is broken. That the whatever special they had, whatever it was, it's gone. Because to me, that was just a deep violation of more than several things, right? Players didn't come to Poole's defense, right? So we had this, and then, so to me, this is just the end result of a crumbling culture that was happening for a couple of years, man. And I felt like the Golden State Warriors did Klay dirty. And I know some people gonna say, man, they paid him this money. He got hurt, and Klay not the same. Man, hold on a second. You paid Draymond. Now, how you gonna pay? Is Klay not more valuable than Draymond?
Klay is more valuable than Draymond. Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm like, so if I'm Klay, I'm like, well, hold on, man. Maybe I lost a step, but I'm still better than him. And how you gonna pay him and you're not gonna pay me? Bruh, I felt like that was disrespectful. And I think anytime you feel like you're not wanted somewhere, man, I don't want to be nowhere where I'm not wanted.
I don't think it's not wanted, Mike. I just my thing is this, I always tell people it's not personal, it's just business. I mean, this happens every year. I mean, I just think Clay
13 seasons, bro. Same
oh,
team.
oh yeah, I get it, but the thing about it is that I think Clay
Hold on, kid. I'm just gonna say I don't know if it get more personal than that, bro. We've been in a relationship for 13 years. We've been through it all together.
uh,
You know what I'm saying? When your car broke down, I came and picked you up. And now you telling me you don't want to meet my needs? Okay, now go ahead, Ken.
But you said it happened when the punch, right? You saw where the GM for the Warriors, let's just say stepped away from the game. Now was on ESPN. He even admitted that it, it was just too much for him.
Yeah.
The pressure. But I think Clay wanted, let's just say, I won't say a max deal, but he wanted a good deal.
Mm-hmm.
And Golden State was just not willing to do that because they know that with, let's just say, any dynasty, there's going to be a time in reckoning that you're going to say, hey, we want to shut this down and kind of rebuild. I mean, you got your, let's just say your star player, Curry, he ain't going nowhere. So he's going to need some people around him. And then the other thing, you talking about doing somebody dirty, Chris Paul, shoot, you waive him, he doesn't get his 30 million. That's gone. But yeah, Clay is a more valuable player than Draymond. They just paid what Draymond 100 mil 4 years.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
And
Clay.
hold on, Ken. Let's also emphasize that during that time frame, he was very naughty. Okay, he was choking people out and punching people, and he still got 100 million. Clay said, I ain't choked nobody, I ain't punched nobody, I ain't did nothing but hit buckets. And
Right.
now I'm out of here.
And Clay, I just think Clay wanted more than what Golden State could offer. And I think Golden State wanted to, let's just say, move Clay as a valuable piece to get other pieces around Curry and Kaminga. I mean, now Clay is with Dallas. That's going to be, to me, Mike, I think that's going to be a hard transition. When I say that, and we talked about it earlier, Clay is not the type that sits around, let's just say, on that 3-point perimeter and just sits there or stands there. But you got Luka and Kyrie, who ball dominant. He gonna be doing like this. Where my shots at? So you got for Dallas to go farther than than what they did this year, in which we'll talk about that later. But I just think it's gonna be a hard transition for Clay. I think that Golden State was just dangling him to get, let's just say, something more than Clay could do. What he's in his you said 13 years? Clay's been with Golden State?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, and maybe Golden State did make, the mistake of they probably wanted to make him maybe around, let's just say 15, 17, 18 million. He probably wanted maybe, let's just say 25, 30, what Draymond was getting or more. So
Let Ken. When number one, okay, we can say, Golden State want to get younger. I still go back to the fact they paid Draymond.
oh, I get it.
Like the whole thing is, man, this we were a pack, right? And I'm sure when Draymond got paid, Clay was still kind of comfortable knowing that he was gonna get paid too. Something happened, something changed, and said, "Hey, we got to go in a different direction." So I feel like if I didn't give you 13, that's the only man. Listen, Paul was there for what? A year.
Yeah.
It ain't got no loyalty to Paul. Come on. He was at 13. So what I'm trying to say is there's probably times where Clay had the opportunity to bounce in his career. And folks were probably like, no, we got something going great here and blah, 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 blah. And he like, oh, okay, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to do, we together, but we really not together. So see, that's what I'm trying to say, Ken. Like, you don't end a relationship like that, man. That's a long relationship. You don't end a relationship like that simply like overnight. There are things that break down in that relationship, man. And I felt just like, Clay, and I'm not saying Clay is the adventures Clay. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is in that role, Klay Thompson was still a very good player. And I think also it would hurt Clay too is that Golden State never developed the Kuminga and other players in a way that would have helped supplement some of the deficiencies in his game, right? So he at Golden State, he had to play D hard, right? Especially when Wiggins was out and this, that, and the other thing, right? When he goes to Dallas, supposedly they want him to be more of a spot up shooter. Now, Ken, I agree with you. Golden State is all about flow, all about movement, all about not hanging on to the ball too long. Okay, Luka, right? So again, Luka's gonna have to make an adjustment. Kyrie's gonna have to make an adjustment. How long does that take? Dallas not getting back to the conference finals. They're not gonna make it back.
But I'm gonna go to a point that you made about, to me, they should have tried to get rid of Wiggins, which maybe they tried to, but Wiggins instead of Clay, and sign Clay.
They tried to get rid of Wiggins, man.
Man, come on. So Clay making about 16, 17 million with Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did he get?
3 years,
mm-hmm.
50 million.
That's right. 17. They could have gave him that. Golden State could have gave him that. Golden State could have gave him that. They didn't want to give him that. Ken, they did him dirty. I don't care what anybody say. They did my boy dirty. Pay that man that money. He was loyal to you for 1 to the 3 years.
Mike.
Because Clay this is probably his last big contract.
Oh, last big contract. This is his last contract.
And Ken, listen, whether he was there or not, let's be honest. Can we just be honest for a moment? Whether he was there or not, was Golden State winning the championship?
No.
Okay, thank you. Pay the man his money. He gave you 13 years. Stop it. It's over in Golden State. It's time to start over, baby. We know that. Come on, Ken.
Mike, what I say, nothing personal. It's just business.
I'll tell you, Ken, if I'm with you 13 years, it's all personal. But I understand what you're saying, man. So Dallas, I believe it's not the best landing spot for him. Either LA, because the King holds on. I know the King, don't get me wrong. I know the King distributes the ball, don't get me wrong. But LeBron is ball dominant. I think more than you would say Kerr, more than you would say anybody on the Warriors. So I think that's a tough thing. I don't know how quickly Dallas can adjust. I think it's going to be hard for Luka. It was hard for Luka when Kyrie came on to give up some of that. Now he's got to give up more of that. I just don't know. But I don't see them this being the piece that makes them a championship contender.
Okay, Mike, we got just a few minutes left.
Yeah.
So what do you think about Paul George going to Philly?
Man, I think Paul, and this, I'm gonna say this too. Now,
First
of all, let me back up. I'm an Andrew Wiggins fan, so when I laugh, folks, don't take that I'm laughing at Andrew. I always like Andrew Wiggins, man. I think there's been some bad press around him, but I like the brother. Okay,
come on, Mike.
That's a conversation for another day. But you look at his numbers, I don't see Andrew as a 1 or 2. I see more as a 3. And if I can get that out of a 3. Man, you giving me something. But okay.
That's when he come to work.
Yeah, I don't know what and Ken, I don't know what that personal situation was, man. So I kind of just I said I don't, when folks say it's personal, it's family, I try not to dip into it, brother. But let me say this. Paul George, I think he did the Clippers dirty. And I like Paul. Come on, Ken. Ken, how much they give up for him? They gave up a future MVP. They
Yeah.
gave up SGA. And what Paul said,
See ya.
deuces. I just, man, I really believe that the Clippers, especially Ty Lue, was like, you know what, we good. You know what I'm saying? We good. We got Kawhi now for 3. You gonna sign for 3? We good. Paul said, no, we ain't good, dog. I need another year. And the thing about it is, for them to do that, how's that look with Kawhi, man? Because
Okay,
I'm sure Kawhi wanted 4 or 5 years.
So let me ask you this question real quick. So
Mm-hmm.
Paul been in the league, what, 13 years? Maybe longer than that. 13,
Yeah, I think
14?
15. I think this is 15th year coming up.
Okay, so you give him a max contract? Man, come on, Mike.
Yeah, they paid him too much.
$212 million for 4 years? Man,
They
to
paid him
Paul
too
George?
much, man. Yeah, they paid him too much, man.
I'm going to say this. I could be wrong. So this was a contract year for Paul George. He played 76 games. He ain't played 76 games in a long time.
Ken, he ain't gonna play 76 games more. This I can guarantee you won't play 76 coming up. He didn't get paid.
And Mike, let me say this too, is that let's just say Philly is in the better position with Paul, but that doesn't mean they're not going to the finals.
Oh, I would tend to agree with that. And the only reason why I would agree with that, and I hate to even say it, and I'm gonna knock on wood here, because I want the big man Joel. I want to see Joel go deep into the playoffs, man. I want to see him. I want to see you, Joel. But the problem is, Ken, I can't believe it. So to me, when you say you bring Paul George on, if Joel is, listen, it starts and it ends with him. Starts and it ends with him. I don't care how much Maxey get off, and you know I love me some Tyrese Maxey. I don't care how much Maxey gets off. I don't care what Paul George did. Philly is resting on Joel, and if Joel is healthy, they gonna be right there if he is healthy. But even the we've seen him in the playoffs. He's been hampered by something.
Yeah.
And so him playing for the Olympics this summer, that kind of bothers me, man. I understand, bro. To represent your country, to get that goal, that's at the highest level. I get that, man. But man,
jeopardize your career, that's tough, Mike. Because the thing about it is that he coming off.
Man, I don't even know if Joel is healthy right now, to be honest with you, man.
He's probably not.
And for him, you know, for Philly, and think about it like this, Ken. If they really have to manage his minutes, number one, you're not going to be eligible for MVP, for any awards, number one. And number two, bro, what position are you going to be in for the playoffs? You mess around and run up against Boston in the first round, or you run see, this is what I'm saying. Like, listen, this season coming up, Ken, the regular season is probably going to be the most important season we've seen in a decade. Positioning is going to be crucial. Whether you finish first or second is going to be crucial in your conference, because when you hit that third and that fourth spot, you playing teams that can definitely beat you. So what I'm saying here is, Ken, like we don't need a season where Joel Embiid kind of plays some. We need a season where he is very engaged and is dominating. Just like with Giannis, we can't go through this thing where Giannis is. Giannis, I know you in Greece dunking on people and all that. I get it. I love Greece. Been there multiple times. Love it, brother. But let me tell you something. We don't care about no Greece. We care about a championship in Milwaukee. So what I'm saying is, bro, go over there and dunk. Do what all you got to do. Be healthy in June. I don't want to hear it, bro. See, this is what people don't understand. Who talking about the in-season tournament?
Smashed out.
Okay. This is what I'm saying, baby. It's all about the playoffs, man. It's all about the championships. And if you're not available, it doesn't matter if you're available all year long. Okay. You know who being celebrated now? Who should be celebrated now? because they earned it. I understand what some folks say. I've said the same thing, but the Boston Celtics are the world champions, bro. And I tip my hat to them. They should be celebrated. Everybody else, hey, it's
Wait until next
summertime.
year.
It's summertime, Ken. But great show, brother. Last word.
We talked about Philly, Maxey, 5 years, $204 million.
Yeah.
Go get that second home.
Hey, he got paid too, didn't he?
Right. Yeah.
Because they didn't want to give him that max, and then he proved himself.
Right.
So he earned it.
Yeah.
He earned it, didn't he? Listen, folks, the world of sports unites us. Let us take this unity into our everyday life. This is why they play the game.